Good morning. Welcome to a very special brunch and BS. I have Todd here, Chef Todd joining me, and he is going to be making.
I don't know what I'm making. So anyway, Jennifer likes when I wear the chef coat. We were having like fun time earlier, so I just never took the chef coat off. What? I normally don't wear a chef coat. Just saying.
Oh my goodness. We have friends who have joined us here today who are going to be testing and tasting Chef Todd's creation. So we can say hi to them.
Say hi.
There we go.
I'm not even in your way.
Great. So welcome in everyone coming in off of the raid. So thank you for coming in. Let me say hi. Ashley is here. Thanks for coming in, Ashley. Deb Rogers, hi, you made it. Great. And Meg, so good to see you. John Gaylor, hello. Poached raid. I like that, Ross. Thank you. And Gavin, how you doing? Up, V saying good morning to the beautiful people. Here we go. I like poached raid. I like that. Okay. And Shannon saying hi from here. So great. Fantastic. Embarkation Nation, Jen, thanks for coming in. And Scott, controversial cruising, poached raid. I like that very much. Thank you, Danny, for dropping the donation link because that is what we are here for. We are here to raise money for Helping Hands for Cruising. And you can either use the link that Danny just dropped, or you can use the QR code in the corner to scan that. So good morning to the brunch bunch. Okay, Jaden saying hi. Oh, V is here for the hollandaise. Okay, fantastic. Awesome. More people coming in on poached raid. Billy, thanks for coming in. Bamanola, Ron, thank you. Oh, had a great time with you too, Randy. Fantastic. Thank you all so much for coming in. Let me go ahead and mark this real quick, and we will get started with Chef Todd.
Hi, everybody.
So,
show of hands, who's actually made hollandaise or Eggs Benedict by themselves in the past? Anybody? Bueller? Bueller? No? Yes? No?
oh, and Ross is saying that a single $200 donation before the end of this stream will get you a Helping Hands for Cruising gift package. Outstanding.
So back to what I was asking: has anybody ever made hollandaise or Eggs Benedict before? Never. Okay.
I made Ed tacos this morning from Paul. Deb says never.
All right. So, so hollandaise is one of the 5 mother sauces. French mother sauces. So when you go to culinary school, it's one of the first things they teach you. Can anybody name the other 4? Quizzes.
Really?
That's right.
Quizzes?
Come on, you can Google it. Take 2 seconds.
We're all too honorable.
How'd you? So there's bechamel. Everybody know what a bechamel is? Anybody? No? Okay. There's an Espagnole sauce. Espagnole sauce is like a tomato sauce. Espagnole, like a brown sauce. Espagnole. There's a veloute, which is a thickened broth. Name the last one. It's a really easy one. Well, there you go. English bechamel. Beef gravy. Oh, look at that. We're getting some good answers. The last one's tomato sauce.
That's it?
That's it. Those are the 5 mother sauces, including hollandaise.
Fantastic.
But I mean, here, the whole point of those mother sauces is that that's the base of creating so many amazing sauces. So let's say you're making hollandaise, and then you take some shallots and some tarragon and some white wine and reduce that, and now you're making a what? Who can tell me? I know you guys didn't think you're going to have to answer questions. I'll give you the answer. It's a béarnaise sauce. So
Love a
anyway,
béarnaise.
all those 5 mother sauces create a lot of different great sauces. You take a tomato sauce and you can make a million different things. There it is. What does that say? I haven't told how good it is on a ship. Oh, gotcha. Not your favorite. All right. Well, let's see if we can change that. All right. So we're gonna go to the other camera, and I'm gonna begin. Okay.
Okay. Hold on just a moment. And let's switch to the cooking cam.
The cooking cam. All right. So here's the deal. There's a lot of different ways that you can separate an egg, right? Because you can use egg yolks for the hollandaise sauce, right? So for me, I've used my hands. You can use just the egg. So if you crack the egg, you can just crack this open and kind of go back and forth like this to separate it. Okay, until you get just the egg yolk, right? And then pour the egg yolk in there. Me personally, I just like to use my hand. I think it's easier. I did wash my hands, just so you know. Okay. But I like to separate it like that. So when I make hollandaise, I'll usually use 3 egg yolks and a stick and a half of butter. Okay. There's a couple different rules of thumb with the butter too. So you can see the butter on the stove, and you can see there's some white. That's the milk solids. Butter is about 80% fat. Okay, and when you're melting the butter, you can make what's called a clarified butter. And what you're doing is your butter's made up of like I said, the fat, the milk solids, and a lot of water. Okay, it's about 15% water. So when you're making a clarified butter, you want to bring that up to a simmer where you're boiling out all that water. So then all you've got left is a nice clear butter, and I'll show you when it's done. You can just buy clarified butter. So
Lisa's here. She says she'll be there for breakfast in 15.
Okay. So
come on over, Elise.
There's a couple different rules of thumb also with the egg yolks. Some people like to put a little bit of vinegar, whether it's apple cider vinegar, white wine vinegar, or even a tarragon vinegar. You could pour a little, like a teaspoon of that into the egg yolk. And then you also want to put in some apple cider vinegar or some type of vinegar in the water, because what that does is that helps to solidify the egg white. Okay, and that's what makes the nice runny yolk and the solid egg white. So you put a little bit of vinegar in the water, and then what I do is I like the acidity, but I like to get a little bit of spice to it also. So I use a little bit of Cholula in there, just a couple drops to get that acidity going, like you would with the vinegar. Okay, so now, whoa, that went fast. We're gonna put this in what's called a double boiler. Okay, and basically what we're doing is we're making a custard. And if you have the water too hot, what's going to happen is you're going to curdle the eggs. You're going to end up making scrambled eggs. So you have to be really careful when you're making the custard here for the hollandaise. Okay, so as you can see, the butter is starting to simmer a little bit, and you're going to see what's going to happen is some of those milk solids are going to disappear, and we're going to have a nice clarified butter.
Billy is asking if you use churned butter or butter out of the store.
Oh, I use butter out of the store. I mean, again, most of the butters that you buy at the store, unless you're going with like a Plugras or a nice European butter, most of those are around 80, 82%, maybe 83% of fat. But, you get into like a Plugras butter or a European butter, that's closer to around 90, 92. Same with the churned butter. I mean, a churned butter, again, yeah, it's going to be a higher fat percentage. But, I mean, even the Irish butter, I mean, for hollandaise, I mean, you're just clarifying it. So you really don't want to go crazy on an expensive butter. It's not going to really add anything to the hollandaise. So This is a good workout, by the way, as you can see, because you just got to keep going and going and going as this starts to thicken up. The other nice thing is as you're making this, once the hollandaise is done, then you're going to be able to keep this right on the stove. You know, you take it off the heat, but the water underneath is hot, so it'll keep the hollandaise warm without it curdling. But you don't want to keep it on open flame or boiling water, because then it'll curdle. But as you can see, it's really starting to thicken up a little bit. There we go. See how it's starting to thicken up? Okay, but it's not ready yet. We'll get there.
Now, for all this hard work that Chef Todd is doing, I think that we need some donations coming in, because after all, that's what today is about. It's about raising funds for Helping Hands for Cruising during the Cruise-a-thon. And I know a lot of folks actually have first been introduced to Eggs Benedict on a cruise. So why not let other people go on a cruise and experience it for themselves?
I will say the cruise that we went on, the Eggs Benedict that we had pretty much every morning was very good. It was, you could tell that that it was a fresh hollandaise. It wasn't like a packaged hollandaise, which is great. Love that. So
Ron is saying, so probably should have eaten before watching this. Danny and John both being helpful and dropping the donation link. Thank you so much. Total raised so far is $32.50, which is fantastic. And we have a joke coming in from Captain Controversy. What do you call a mischievous egg? A deviled egg? A practical yoker. Oh,
that is excellent. You are my new favorite person, by the way. I like the dad jokes. Just saying, I'm always coming up with new ones.
That's a good dad joke, Scott. Oh, excellent. But there we go. Excellent. Fantastic. You guys are a riot.
So we're really starting to get some thickness now. See that? I mean, it's really starting to.
Scott in Scottsdale says, you're my favorite person, Todd. Did we just become best friends?
Wait, isn't that the one that's supposed to be sending me some In-N-Out burgers?
Yeah, except we priced it and not going to happen.
No, that's okay. All right. So, I mean, I have to be honest with you. Having a In-N-Out burger shipped, I don't know how good that's going to be. All right. So the next step, obviously, is to toast our English muffins. Okay. There's a few different ways that you can toast an English muffin, right? So you can do it in the broiler like I'm about to. You can do it in the pan, however you want. So what I do is I'm going to throw this in the oven under broiled. I mean, you could throw it in a toaster if you want, but they'll toast in about a minute and a half. In the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to separate the rest of the clarified butter here. So I'm just taking the milk solid off the top here. Okay. And again, I've seen people make Eggs Benedict without doing the clarified butter. Okay. That's totally fine. So once you start adding in the butter, you just want to do it a little bit at a time to keep a thick consistency. And you don't want the butter to be too hot. You don't want it to be boiling when you add it, because again, that will cook the egg. Okay. So as we're adding in the butter, if your custard here gets a little too thick, like this is getting really thick now, we can add just a tiny bit of water to thin it out to keep it the consistency that we want, and then go right back to adding the butter.
You're making Bob hungry over here, so here we go.
So again, this is a stick and a half of butter to 3 egg yolks.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy. The astute tourist is donated for 10. So Jimmy's in for 10. Thank you so much, Jimmy. Appreciate it.
What's that? There is.
Okay, what other questions do you have for Chef Todd as he is preparing this fabulous sauce? Let's see what else we can answer for you.
So, just want to kind of show you the consistency. See that? I mean, it coats the back of the spoon, so you can see how nice and thick that is. That's going to go really nice on top of the eggs. Okay, so now we're going to season it. Okay, and we're going to add a little bit of salt, just a pinch of salt.
Oh, and Carnival Cruise Addicts just donated 10 as well. Thank you so much.
I'm going to add a little bit of white pepper. You can add black pepper. I also add a little bit of cayenne, just a tiny, tiny bit. I like the way cayenne tastes. And the most important ingredient, lemon. So you want to squeeze some lemon in there. And again, you want to get whatever flavor profile you want. So you add a little bit and you taste, and you add a little bit and you taste, and you add a little bit and you taste. That is the name of the game.
And the question coming in, Chef Todd, how do you keep the hollandaise from breaking once it's finished?
So that is a good question. All right. So the reason a hollandaise will break, okay, is because breaking means that the egg yolk will separate. Okay. And the reason that'll happen typically is because one, the eggs got too hot, okay, or the butter was too hot, and that'll cause it to separate, or you added the butter too quickly, and that'll cause it to separate. So you want to add it nice and slow, so the egg yolks emulsify with the butter. Okay. So now I'm adding Canadian bacon. All right. Now, just so you know, I've seen like Gordon Ramsay, make Eggs Benedict, and he's used prosciutto. I've seen people use country ham. I've seen people do seafood Benedicts. I've seen people do, for vegetarians, do like a nice portobello mushroom as a Benedict. So we're gonna heat up the the Canadian bacon. So now I'm going to add the eggs. Okay. So there's a couple different things that you can do. All right. If you don't feel confident, okay, cracking an egg, right, you can crack the egg into a container like this. Okay. And then you can just pour that. Let me get that shell out. We don't want shells. Shell's bad.
Shell's bad.
Okay. Then you can just pour it like right in. Okay. If you don't feel confident in cracking it right into the water, for me, I mean, obviously I've been doing this a while. I can crack that like that pretty quickly. If you go online and you look at somebody teaching how to do it, they might say stir the water to get kind of like a circular motion going. It helps keep the egg, from breaking. But honestly, if you've done this as long as I have, I used to work brunch for Stouffer's back in the day, and I used to make thousands of Eggs Benedict. So for me, this is a no-brainer. So I'm making 6 for the 3 people that are here eating. For the 3 vultures. Okay.
And Scott is saying he can see cooking classes with Chef Todd and says you're a very good explainer.
Well, thank you.
And yeah, Ashley's saying, Chef Todd, are you offering cooking classes?
So I would be more than happy to. I have, I mean, in my career, done many cooking classes. I'm going to take that off the heat so I don't separate this.
After we just talked about separating it.
Right? That would be bad. We don't want that. We're going to thin this
Have
out
to
a
do
little
a
bit.
master class with Chef Todd.
Right?
Okay, Roxy is saying, okay, where do we go for the cooking classes? I think that I need to convince Todd that Brunch and BS needs to have more cooking each week. And Danny dropping the donation link. Again, please make someone's dream become a reality. And let's get more people on more cruises.
You can switch back to yours for right now.
Do we see an HH4C culinary group cruise with Chef Todd in the future? Wow, I don't know about that. I think that Chef Todd might. Ooh, this is looking tasty. He wanted me to switch cameras, but
no, just so you can do your thing.
There we go. Thank you for dropping the links.
Hot.
Would give you separation anxiety. Oh, oh, John. Oh my gosh.
That's awful.
That's awful, but really funny. Okay. Let's switch back to my other camera for a minute, and let's talk some more about Helping Hands for Cruising. So what exactly do they provide when they grant someone's wish to go on a cruise? They cover the expense of the cruise itself, the airfare, the hotel the night before. They cover travel insurance and also a caregiver to come with the person. So it really covers someone start to finish and makes the whole thing a reality. It's a phenomenal, phenomenal charity. Recipients number 5 and 6 are going this year. So let's get more people on cruises. This is so great. Thank you so much. Oh, great. Thank you, Jen. This is such a neat live. We shared it out. Thank you so much for sharing it out. Anything you can do, thumbs up, share it out. This is fantastic. They also provide a little spending money in onboard credit to the people who are the recipients. And Shannon is asking, do the recipients get to choose the destination? That is a good question. I know there are multiple cruises that go on during the year, so I'm not sure if recipients are actually choosing destinations. That is something that maybe Michael Ann, Spoiled Mama, can answer for us. Oh, and Ross is correcting me. 5, 6, and 7 are going in 2025 recipients. That is fantastic. Okay. Okay. If Ross or Michael Ann, I'm sorry?
You can stand that camera.
Okay. I'll stay on this camera. So, yes, if you can answer that, if folks get to choose. I know there are cruises coming up, and people can always cruise along with the Helping Hands for Cruising folks. So we will get you an answer for that momentarily. Do you want me to switch back?
Nope.
Or nope? Okay.
You can keep talking.
I can keep talking. Okay. Well, that certainly can happen. Let's see what our total is at right now. So let me see between what we did with Scrow's Nest yesterday and today, we are up to $290. So let's see if we can't get to 4 before we are done. Everybody dig in Every little bit helps. Even $5 can help. You can do it a one-time donation, or you can set up a monthly recurring donation if you'd like to go ahead and support. So, Todd, that looks awesome. I'll be right over. Set me a plate, says Jimmy, except he's coming from the East Coast, so it might be cold. So Ross says typically a cruise is chosen by Helping Hands for Cruising because we typically do not have many cruises on an annual basis. Okay, so the host of the cruise has already set the cruise. The recipients are chosen after, so they really don't get to choose where. Cool. Okay, group cruise hosts can nominate their group cruise to have a recipient, which would be a great way to do it too. And I know that coming up after us, the fun continues. So make sure that you follow along. After us is going to be Adventures with Uncle Dave. So you want to follow along with the playlist. It is in the description. So if you're not sure where the playlist is, it's in the description of this video. So I'm going to actually switch back.
No, just
No?
hold on.
Okay, I'm not going to switch
I'm
back.
still waiting for the eggs to finish
John is
cooking.
saying, Jimmy, can you stop and pick me up on the way?
I'm waiting for the
Okay.
eggs
Oh,
to
and
finish.
Danny, thank you for dropping the playlist link. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Okay.
1 second there.
Give me 1 second, he says. It's looking delicious to me, so I think he has to pull it all together here. And the magic is happening.
Still going.
Still going. Okay, let's see. There he goes. He is whisking his little heart out. We need tips on poaching eggs.
All right. So, again, poaching eggs, it's really more of an eyeball thing for me, but I want to say it's about 4 or 5 minutes to poach an egg. And again, if you add vinegar to the water, that helps the egg whites. So let me do this. Let me pull out the. Okay. So you can see the Eggs Benedict starting to come together here. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the egg. Place that on here. Stop. Uh-oh.
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 The eggs are down.
The eggs are down. Yeah, my fingertips are fine. All right.
Okay, $30 more and we can get to 3,300 in this stream. So $30. Kick in $5. We have 25 people in the house. I hope you're hitting the thumbs up.
Right?
They can't see that.
I know they can't. It's okay.
We have eggs down. We have eggs down. No one panic.
No one panic.
Remain calm. All is well.
The Piper is down.
You think you should do that on camera?
No.
Or? Okay.
Just give me a sec here.
Okay. He's just mixing in more butter here. Let's see. Let's switch over here. He is stirring and stirring.
What did you say? What did I hear? I heard something that was inappropriate and amazing, and amazing all at the same time.
I wasn't wearing the chef coat earlier.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
What, me?
Yeah. Yes.
Not me.
It's all of us.
Yeah, we're terrible.
We're terrible. We're terrible. It's not a morning. It's not a morning show.
I don't know. It kind of feels like you.
All right. So sorry about that.
Okay. Yes. Comments from the peanut gallery. Absolutely. They're getting hungry and restless.
So we're gonna put a little bit of
Hold on.
hollandaise on. Oh, I'm not. Camera's not here. Okay, I'm gonna start
There we
here.
go.
So you can see that the hollandaise sits right on top of the eggs. So it's a good hollandaise when it sits right on top and doesn't run off the sides. There you go.
What do you call an egg that's been rubbed on a carpet? Egg static. Yum, poached chicken embryos.
All right.
Aaron
So
says, oh,
how does that look, everybody?
here we go.
Does that look all right?
Nice.
Good Eggs Benedict?
Nice. Here we go. He's plating them up. And we'll see how we do here. I agree. They do look incredible. Okay. Let's go ahead.
All right, and just so you know,
Switch.
this is for me. I'm just going to eat this straight.
I'm
kidding.
no, he's not.
I'm kidding.
He's not. Okay. Let's go ahead. And Mike Land says, looks better than the ones I had on the cruise. And Jimmy can almost smell them, Todd. Okay, let's see how we do.
Yes.
Here.
Okay, so it's important to know that we have 3 different levels of Eggs Benedict experts here today. So Nick, who's never had Eggs Benedict, me, who doesn't like Eggs Benedict, and Jen, who's Eggs Benedict is her favorite thing in the whole wide world.
And she'll pretty much just say, "Oh, Todd's amazing."
Pretty much.
See it.
Okay, so let's see how they're doing. People are definitely saying they're coming over.
The egg is perfectly poached.
Perfectly poached. Ross will be here in 25 minutes. Liz is saying looks good.
At least be here by now.
Yeah, Elise should be here. The one I had on the cruise tasted
Having more difficulty
like
with
just
bacon.
lemon. Okay.
This is very good.
I would hope so. All right, so does anybody have any questions for me on how to make Eggs Benedict? I mean, it doesn't look that complicated, does it? Does anybody have, like, I mean, do you feel like you could just go out and get the ingredients and do it tonight? You know, breakfast for dinner? Yes, no, maybe?
Hey, wait. We want a bite.
Let's see.
This is phenomenal. And this is why I let Todd cook me things I don't like.
Quality check on my end.
Because I always like them.
Yum. I just ate some
Yum.
of your Eggs Benedict. Sorry, honey.
I'm going to try it.
This is perfect.
It's very good. It's got the hollandaise sauce is kind of like rich, but then it's contradicted by the bacon, which is salty.
That is how you make Eggs
Mm.
Benedict.
That's good.
His thumb's way up. Okay.
The inside of the poached egg.
Now, they're saying it looks so easy, but I know it will be different when I go to make it. Can you give a cooking class on how to make chicken and dumplings?
Sure. Chicken and dumplings are fun. Who came up with that question?
Ashley came up with that question. Ashley Radcliffe.
Ashley, I love chicken and dumplings. So every year for the wrestling coaches, I've been coaching wrestling for 35 years at Deerfield High School and, well, in the Deerfield school system. And every year for these coaches, we do a sushi night. So I made sushi for all the coaches. I also did some grilled pork belly And the grilled pork belly, I did a smoked honey and like a habanero rub, dry rub, and then I also did grilled short ribs, like the Asian short ribs that you see at like a Chinese restaurant, the really thin ones. And did like a hickory teriyaki glaze on that. Anyway, the whole point of this is that when it comes to cooking, it's really just about watching some videos, paying attention, asking questions, and trial and error more than anything. So, I mean, believe me, there's plenty of times that I make something that does not come out the way that I envisioned it. So,
Still delicious.
still delicious.
So Ross is saying, how about a class in making lobster thermidor?
Lobster thermidor. That's old school. I haven't made that since like 1982.
Smash the like and share the stream, but most importantly, donate. Absolutely, Jimmy, 100%. Now, Elise is saying it's cold out. Can you drop it by instead?
Well, Elise has had my Eggs Benedict, so she knows.
I don't know. Let's see. Oh, Elise donated. Well, now we have to deliver eggs.
Wait, here we go.
Fantastic. Oh, let's get the side shot so you can actually see the ooey gooey goodness.
Perfectly poached they are.
Perfectly poached. Fantastic. Thank you, sir. So, and you coached wrestling as well. Wow. Yes. Has coached for many, many moons. Thank you so much for your donations. We really appreciate it. It matters so much. It's going to help so many people. Let's see what our total is up to now. So we are at $300 of the $5 that I'd like to raise. So that is fantastic. Thank you so much for donating, for everyone who has so far. And please keep donating. We definitely want to get as many as possible. And Ross is saying, I'd like to learn how to make kreplach.
Kreplach.
I'll be
Wow.
back for that.
Bread pudding with the sauce, or how to make a meringue.
Hey, tell everybody about the bread pudding that I made for Thanksgiving.
Oh,
I didn't get any.
he made a bread pudding that was a chocolate and cherry bread pudding that was absolutely fantastic.
Another
Oh,
thing
our
I made
total is
good.
other 3315, so we broke 3,300. Great. Thank you so much, you guys. This is terrific. We still have another 20 minutes to go on this live. So what other questions can we answer for you? And maybe we can get Chef Todd to talk a little bit about maybe the shopping list for the Eggs Benedict, so everybody will know what they need to have in order to make it themselves.
Sure. All right. So,
Oh, and Colleen's cooking a roast beef today. Yummy.
I like roast beef.
Yummy, yummy. Okay.
So, it's interesting. I've tried a lot of different English muffins, but honestly, Bay's is my favorite. Bay's is my favorite, and I'll tell you why. So, first of all, if anybody buys Thomas English muffins, okay, you can never separate the damn English muffins. These come right apart, okay? And Bay's also is kind of concave, so it holds the Canadian bacon and the egg really well, okay? But, you can go to a bakery, you can buy English muffins. These are actually, I did sourdough. Bay's also makes like, I don't know, 4 different varieties. They do a brioche, they do a wheat, so they have a bunch of different. I'll either use the sourdough, I'll just use their traditional. As far as Canadian bacon, it really doesn't matter. I use the Jones. Jones makes a great product, and I'm dripping all over the place. That's fantastic. Jones makes a great product. First of all, Jones makes the best bacon. So if you're looking for a really good bacon, like their 9 to 13 count, or I like a thicker bacon. So, but you get the Jones thick bacon, and it's fantastic. They do like a cherry smoked or an applewood smoked. Really good stuff. And again, like I said, when it comes to Eggs Benedict, you can really make it however you want from the standpoint of, if you don't like Canadian bacon, or if you're a vegetarian, you can take a portobello mushroom, roast the portobello mushroom. You could, stuff it with spinach and cheese if you want, and put the poached egg on top of that. I mean, there's so many different ways. If you're on a keto diet, right, and you can't use an English muffin, the portobello cap is a great thing to use as the base, as opposed to using an English muffin. So, they make keto friendly bread and everything. Hold on one second. I have to grab the other muffins out. I ended up eating Jennifer's Eggs Benedict because she was busy talking. So now I had to make her own. Just throwing that out there.
Thank goodness. Michael Ann is asking an alternative for gluten-free.
So again, that's when you get into more of like the using different vegetarian. I've seen people use tomato as a base, but there are some good gluten-free breads out there. Almost every grocery store carries them. Like the Udi's is a brand of gluten-free bread that is very popular in most grocery stores. It's gluten-free bread. Okay, I'm just saying it's not going to be the same as regular bread. But again, I've seen people use crab cake. You'd have to use gluten-free breadcrumbs in the crab cake, but just say, there's a lot of different ways that you can make a version of Eggs Benedict that other than the traditional. So, but for me, I like a traditional Eggs Benedict.
And Shannon donated $10 to cover the price of eggs. Thank you, Shannon. The cruising lizard is here from the wonder of the seas. Hello, dear. How are you?
Hi, Lizard.
Thank you for joining, Liz.
Happy birthday, Lizard. Liz just had her birthday. What was it, 67? I think her husband said 67th birthday.
That's what he said.
She looks amazing for 60.
Amazing.
So, but yeah, 67 years young. It's amazing.
Good morning and safe sailing from Meg. Gluten-free is expensive in Canada, $7 to $10 per loaf. Wow, that is. Todd, where locally would you go to buy high-quality king crab legs?
Oh, boy.
Locally here.
Well, you've got that place in Wheeling. What's the name of it? It's a restaurant, and they have the why am I having a brain cramp?
I don't know why.
Oh, give me a second.
Okay.
I'll think of it in a second.
We'll have an answer in a moment, Ross.
There's if you're in Wilmette, there's Burhop Seafood, but in Wheeling, Boston Fish Market. Good Lord, Todd.
Boston Fish Market.
Yeah, so Boston Fish Market's right on Milwaukee Avenue in Wheeling, and it's a restaurant, but then they also sell the fresh fresh fish and different shellfish, shrimp, scallops, lobster, crab legs. So again, if I were going to go buy crab legs, I'd probably go to Restaurant Depot or Costco or something like that. They usually have pretty good sales on that stuff.
Cool. Lobster Benny here in New Hampshire is awesome.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Ross wants them mainly to cook at home. So the crab legs.
Gotcha.
So,
yep.
So that would be where. Fantastic. And Najuma Brown, thank you so much for coming in. Folks saying hi. And yeah, Aaron said, Billy, did your ancestors shake the rafters and scream, store-bought? Luffy did store-bought grits. Yeah, you know they did. Fantastic. Okay. So what else do we need to make our Eggs Benedict?
All right. So we talked about the English muffin. We talked about the Canadian bacon. Obviously, whatever eggs you have available. I typically use large. Not all eggs were created equal, but like Shannon said, since eggs are like $5 to $8 a dozen nowadays, just get whatever's available. And then again, however you want to season it, you want to make sure that a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. If you want to use black pepper, that's fine. If you want to use white pepper, that's fine. I like I said, I like a little bit kick, so I'll use like a little bit of hot sauce because that adds that vinegar flavor profile to the hollandaise. Obviously lemon, you want to add lemon, and again, you add a little bit and you taste, and you add a little bit and you taste. It's especially when you're using salt or seasoning, right? Any kind of spices. If you go and let's say you read a recipe and the recipe says put in a teaspoon of salt, and then you put the teaspoon of salt in there and you realize, oh wow, it's really salty, because everybody has a different tolerance for salt. Yeah. So I always add a little bit and then I taste it, and if I need a little bit more salt, I add a little bit more salt, because you can't pull salt out. Right. So, once it's too salty, it's too salty. So you just add a little bit at a time. And then again, the other key, like I said earlier, to the water, you want to make sure that you add some vinegar, whether it's like an apple cider vinegar or, white wine vinegar, whatever, to the water that you're poaching the eggs in, because that helps make the egg white nice and solid. And then you can have a nice solid egg white and, a nice egg yolk. And again, everybody likes their egg yolks a little bit differently. I like mine a lot more runny, but most people I know like it just so it's a little bit gooey. So, it just depends on how you like it.
Ross was asking, where did Publican Bakery move to?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure. I have no idea. These restaurants in Chicago, they open and close so fast. I can't even keep up with it anymore. So
Jimmy's saying $7 here for eggs. I may get chickens again if the prices don't come down. I hear that. And question, does it matter if the eggs are store-bought or farm-raised? No, not at all. But I will say typically farm-raised eggs are unsized, obviously, because, it just depends on the chicken, right? Typically farm-raised eggs are a little bit smaller, more like medium or small eggs. So, again, it's just personal preference. I've used both. Great. Thank you. And Donna coming in. Hi, Donna. Thank you so much for being here. How much vinegar, Todd, should you be adding? So again, depends on like for my setup. I put about 2 tablespoons of vinegar in that water, but that was probably a good gallon and a half of water that I had. So if you're doing it in a small pot, you're only gonna need like a tablespoon of vinegar. It's not a lot. It's like I said, it's really just to help solidify the egg white. Great. And Aaron is saying to whoever had the lemony hollandaise, sounds like that chef didn't do the add a little then taste steps when they made theirs. Correct. Sounds like it. So again, here's the challenge that I've seen working in kitchens my entire career is that, either people just follow a recipe blindly. And, again, so if something calls for a tablespoon, I can guarantee you 90% of the people that work in a kitchen out there don't actually pull out a tablespoon. They measure it in their hand. So my tablespoon in my hand, I have small hands, okay? Small, fat, Jewish Jew boy hands, okay? All right. Anyway, but my tablespoon in my hand is different than somebody else's. So again, it's just, I always start adding a little bit and then I do layers of flavor. So that's the other thing when you're cooking. So let's say, for example, you're making a meat sauce, right, for spaghetti.
Okay. So you're going to saute the ground beef and maybe some Italian sausage or whatever you want to put in there. You add a little bit of salt, you add a little bit of pepper, you add a little bit of Italian seasoning or oregano or basil, whatever flavor profile you want, right? So once I season the ground beef and then I add the tomatoes in, then I'm going to season it again, because what I'm doing is I'm creating layers of flavor. Okay. So each step I'm doing a little bit of seasoning, and until I get to the flavor profile I want to the finished dish. And it's like that with pretty much anything that I make.
Great. Awkward Quilter is saying hi, lurking. I saw food and got excited.
Well, there you go.
I know that. $5.15 at the dollar store here. The eggs, that's not bad. All good chefs have a tasting spoon. Oh,
that's a good question. So the peanut gallery asked if I'm using salted or unsalted butter. So I typically use unsalted butter when I am making hollandaise. That way I can control the amount of salt, but I only had salted butter here. So I actually, that's one of the reasons that I clarified it, because that also kind of makes it a little bit easier for me to control the salt intake on it.
cool. Okay.
That's right. See the hat? How cool is that? Right?
Paul is saying all
Rock
good
and roll.
chefs have a tasting spoon handy when cooking. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Danny's
called
laughing at us.
your index finger. You scoop it up and go, oh yeah, okay, that tastes fine.
No.
As long as you don't double dip, you're fine. I'm kidding. And anybody that thinks that there's a 3-second rule from dropping something on the ground when you work in a kitchen, that's a bold-faced lie, okay? It's 5 seconds. There you go. See? You ruined my joke. Thanks, man.
That is funny.
If I told you stories about the restaurant industry and what goes on, you'd never eat again. No, for the most part, the nicer restaurants, they do a phenomenal job of taking great care of their food. So I've worked with a lot of different restaurants in my career and worked in a lot of restaurants, and everybody that I've ever worked with takes pride. Those of us that are serious about working in the culinary field take our business seriously, and we want to take care of our customers. So you should feel comfortable.
Fantastic.
See?
Okay, let's see. Oh, yes. Jimmy knows, because as a fire inspector, he goes to all the restaurants and he knows exactly what he's talking about.
Now, has anybody ever seen like Gordon Ramsay when he goes in those restaurants and goes to fix them? Okay.
Kitchen Nightmares.
Kitchen Nightmares. Thank you. All right. So here, Gordon Ramsay is a crazy talented chef. Okay. That's still television. Okay.
Yes.
Are there restaurants like that out there? Oh, absolutely. There are restaurants out there that are a nightmare. Okay. Those people do not belong running a restaurant. Okay.
Yeah.
I've actually, true story, I've had people that have said they wanted to open a restaurant, have no restaurant experience. They worked in the banking industry and were like, I want to open a restaurant. It's been my dream. Right. I've literally told them, here, how much you want to spend? 500 grand? Okay, give me the 500 grand. I'll put it in a 6-month CD. And 6 months from now, I'll give you your 500 grand back. I'll keep the interest. We'll shake hands and you'll thank me for talking you out of it. Okay. I am a skilled chef and a skilled restaurateur, and you couldn't pay me enough money to open up a restaurant in this day and age. So.
Okay, Michael Annis.
Bar Rescue is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
I like that show.
I learned to cook from my mom. My youngest went to culinary school, so we have an interesting blend of cooking here. Fantastic.
So does everybody cook together?
A chef with a good sense of humor is hard to find.
Thanks, honey.
Yep. If you saw kitchens in some restaurants, you'd probably never eat there again. That is a true statement, Jimmy. And yes, Bar Rescue has some crazy kitchen nightmares.
Yes.
I like Bar Rescue a lot. So your father worked for Edward Dunn in the 60s to the 70s. Your mom was a partner with Carol Berghoff Catering.
Wow. So just so you know, the company I work for, Cisco, now owns Edward Dunn. So there you go. But yeah, I'm familiar with both Berghoff, and I'm very familiar with Edward Dunn.
And Nick, longtime viewer, first time commenter. Love you guys. Foods look amazing. Todd is an amazing chef. Nick is here. He's one of our tasters. So he is definitely in the peanut gallery. Your son likes to improve on mom's recipes. Sometimes I like it. Sometimes I don't.
You know what? My mom was such a great cook. I did improve on some of her recipes, but some of them, there was just no improving. They were great recipes.
They really are.
So here, I'll tell you right now, my mom makes a tortilla soup recipe. And most people think of tortilla soup, they think of like chicken and crunchy tortillas on the top. That's
Yeah.
not how she made it. She did it like a stew meat, okay? And it was like a chicken and beef stock combination. And then what she did was she used flour tortillas and cut into strips at the end, and to add as like a noodle and to thicken the broth. So it's almost like a stew. It's amazing. So, but I have improved on that recipe. So I know Rich Melman. I handled all of Let Us Entertain You for many, many years. My dad used to play stickball with Rich when they were both kids.
Forever ago. Wow. Now, Danny was asking, she says her big brother lives in Chicago, has been for a long time. Any good places to eat?
Like downtown Chicago? There's a handful. I mean, there's so many. There's just so many great restaurants. So many great restaurants.
Depends what you like.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Here, there's great restaurants everywhere. You just have to find them. But downtown Chicago, it's one of the best places to go for restaurants. I mean, it's just everywhere.
Yep. Fantastic. Okay, well, we are actually coming to the end of the live. We have about 4 minutes left. So Ross is dropping his dad, Ken Merrill. Do you know him?
It doesn't ring a bell.
Small world, though. So probably will. Got to get pizza in Chicago. I totally agree.
Okay, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Got to get pizza in Chicago. When you say that, are you talking like thin crust or are you talking deep dish? Okay, it is a trap.
It is a trap. It's a trap.
No, seriously.
Okay, so you tell us, are you talking thin crust or thick crust?
So here.
Thank you from Meg. Thank you. Here we go.
They are both good. But here, so thin crust is my favorite. Okay, I am always gonna be a thin crust guy. There's some great thin crust pizza in Chicago, but Malnati's for deep dish. Nick and Vito's for tavern. I'm on board with that. For deep dish, if you're ever in the city, go to a place called the Art of Pizza. Okay, the Art of Pizza is one of the best deep dish in the city. And there's 2 locations: one downtown Chicago, one near Wrigley. So,
okay, fantastic. Yeah, I'm a fan of the deep dish. He likes the thin, but I like the deep dish. We are definitely coming up here. So thin crust all the way from a New Yorker. Got it.
I like New York style pizza. It's very good.
Yes.
It's a little greasy for my taste, but that's right. We can haggle about that later.
Okay, well, thank you all so much for coming in. Be sure to follow along with the lineup link and follow the next folks who are coming up and continue supporting Helping Hands for Cruising. Oh, Pequods.
Pequods, yes.
Love.
Outstanding.
Love.
Caramelized crust. Way to go.
Thank you so much for your donations, everyone. Really appreciate it. We had an awesome time. I will definitely convince Chef Todd to join us for more cooking demonstrations. So make sure that you comment on any ideas for future things. So that should be fantastic. Uncle Dave is up next, so make sure that you go over there. Someone is saying, oh, the donation link isn't working for you. Hold on, and we can get that dropped in there. So, okay, oven grinder for pizza pot pie.
Yes, good.
Okay. Okay. Can someone drop the donation link for just a moment because it's not working for Paul? And I appreciate it. Thank you all so much. Appreciate you coming in today. Remember to smash the like and subscribe if you haven't already. Great live with all of you, and I appreciate it. So thank you again for joining us. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Have fun storming the castle.